While I was handing out flyers, I saw my girlfriend, Alicia. She looked disheveled and was passionately kissing the school hunk in a sports car. Shocked, I knocked on the window. The hunk glanced at me and asked, "Who's this?" Alicia, still leaning against him, replied, "Just a simp. If you don't like it, I'll break up with him right away." Then, after kissing him again, she didn't even glance my way. She just turned away. The hunk licked his lips where she had kissed him and mocked me, saying, "Leave. Beauties only belong to the strong." I kept my cool and asked, "I don't care about my girlfriend, but why are you in my car?" The mood shifted. The school hunk gripped the steering wheel and stared at me, confused. "What do you mean, your car?" "This is my car," I replied. I reached over, opened the glove compartment, and pulled out the registration. "Look, it has my name on it. So why are you in my car? Are you stealing it? I'll call the police right now." His face flushed red. He jumped out of the car and nervously whispered, "Please don't call the police. My dad's a mechanic. I saw this car at the shop, thought it looked nice, and borrowed it for a spin. Please don't." "Report me." I widened my eyes and said loudly, "You call this borrowing? This is theft. Can repair shops just steal customer cars?" He lowered his head. "Bro, I'm sorry," he whispered. "Don't call me bro," I sighed. "Let me check the car's condition first." He didn't dare say another word as I inspected the car. Then I spotted a dent on the hood. "What's this about?" I snapped. The school hunk panicked. "It's not my fault. Your girlfriend insisted on sitting on the hood to take selfies." She posted a bunch of provocative photos on her moments as proof. I checked my phone. Nothing. Then he showed me his own phone. Turns out Alicia had blocked me. Her moments were filled with bold, flirty photos taken on my car. I tutted. "Such bold photos. Fine, you can go, but I'm keeping these as evidence. Both of you should prepare for a court summons." The hunk was stunned. "Bro, will it cost a lot?" he asked quietly. "About 100,000, I said. His face turned pale instantly. "But she damaged it. Why do I have to pay? 2? I rolled my eyes. "Don't you understand the law? You're both responsible. Your dad's whole year of work is gone." The proud school hunk suddenly burst into tears. "That stupid girl. I told her this is carbon fiber. Only high-end sports cars have it. The hotter it gets, the harder it becomes. But she didn't wait for the car to warm up. She just sat on it for selfies. My parents worked so hard and now we're screwed because of her." Tired of his whining, I got in my car and called someone to assess the damage. I didn't care to watch him cry. Still sobbing, he asked, "How come you're the rich one? Your girlfriend said you work multiple jobs handing out flyers." Calmly replied, "I don't work. I hand out flyers, yes, but those stores, they're mine." I wasn't lying. My family owns 72 stores on that pedestrian street. Half of it belongs to us. Handing out flyers for our own stores, what's wrong with that? I rolled up the window. I didn't want to hear another word from him. Then, right at that moment, Alicia texted me, "Since you saw it, let's break up. Don't blame me. Blame your loser parents. I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than laugh on your bicycle while you hand out flyers." I fell into deep thought. Since both the Lamborghini and the bicycle were mine, should she cry or laugh? I wanted to reply, "Wait for the court summons," but Alicia had already blocked me. My God, she actually blocked me? And about that repair cost, she owes me 100,000. I didn't care that it was the girls' dorm. I stormed straight, in and headed to Alicia's room. Luckily, it was morning. There weren't many people around. Just as I reached the door, I was about to knock when I heard a voice inside. "Did you really do what I told you?" Then Alicia's voice responded, "Yes, I lied to him that I took the pill." Another woman replied excitedly, "That's a great opportunity. I checked your period and knew you were likely to get pregnant these 2 days. That's why I told you to go on a date. Once you're pregnant, you can marry into a wealthy—" Alicia looked worried. What if he makes me get an abortion? The woman replied confidently, as long as you're pregnant, I have ways to make him acknowledge the baby. You even broke up with your boyfriend for him. Let's see if he dares not to take responsibility. I was stunned. Alicia had gone this far. She actually wanted to marry the campus heartthrob by getting pregnant with his child. I couldn't help but wonder what her expression would be when she found out that the guy she was chasing had stolen my car. I knocked on Alicia's dorm room door. When she saw me, her expression immediately soured. "I've already broken up with you," she snapped. "Why are you still pestering me?" I'm telling you, being poor isn't the problem. But being poor and still shamelessly chasing a girl, that's disgusting. Clearly, Alicia misunderstood. I wasn't there to win her back. Her tone, though, made that perfectly clear. There were two others in the room, her roommates. I recognized them. One of them, Eva, was Alicia's best friend. She was also the same one who had just been encouraging Alicia to get pregnant. Before I could even say a word, Eva scoffed and said, "Can you stop getting in the way of Alicia, pursuing her own happiness?" I stood there, dumbfounded. Making out with another guy in a car behind her boyfriend's back was considered pursuing happiness? I knew Eva well. When I first started dating Alicia, Eva always made sarcastic remarks like, "A man's love is shown by how much money he spends." Thanks to her constant brainwashing, I'd bought Alicia all kinds of gifts. Now, I wasn't here to argue. I was just here to get my stuff back. "We can break up," I said, "but the phone you're using is mine. You should return it." I didn't even mention the sports car was mine. Knowing Alicia, she might shamelessly try to cling to me if she realized how much I was really worth. Better to get my things back first. Alicia frowned and snapped coldly. "Wow, so you're that petty? Can't you even consider my feelings?" I was speechless. It wasn't about being petty. She had cheated on me and still expected me to care about her feelings. Eva covered her mouth and laughed. "Can't you see through his little trick? Asking you to return the phone is just an excuse. He's not over you. He wants to make things difficult because he can't stand losing you." Alicia sneered. "So that's it? You think if I feel too embarrassed to return the gift, I'll hesitate to break up? Please, don't forget, my current man is loaded." She lifted her chin proudly. Eva added fuel to the fire. "Don't be afraid, sis. I just looked it up. His Lamborghini costs millions. Buying you a new phone is nothing for him." Alicia laughed and said, "Fine, I'll return the phone. But let me make one last call. I'll show you exactly why I dumped you. The gap between you and a rich man like him is something you'll never bridge, no matter how hard you try." Was she talking about the same guy, the heartthrob? I remembered when I took my car to his house for maintenance. His dad had sighed, saying business was tough, and they were barely making enough to cover rent. Alicia dialed his number, and Eva quickly whispered, "Put it on speaker. Let him hear for himself just how big the gap is." Alicia nodded smugly. Wanting to show off, she put the call on speaker. As soon as the call connected, she spoke in a pitiful tone. "Brother, my boyfriend came to break up with me and wants me to return the phone he gave me. Without it, how can I even stay in touch with you?" But the heartthrob didn't play along. He exploded on the other end of the line. "You damn bitch! Don't let me see you again or I'll beat you every time I do." In an instant, Alicia and Eva were both stunned, completely speechless. The call abruptly ended. Alicia stared at her phone, frozen and speechless. Eva was the first to react. Furious, she grabbed a book from her bed and hurled it at me. "Did you badmouth my best friend downstairs?" she shouted. Alicia's face twisted in anger. Her voice shook as she snapped, "Yeah, he wasn't treating me like this before. You must have slandered me. How despicable and disgusting can you be?" I sighed, trying to stay calm. "I didn't badmouth you. Just give me back my things." Alicia shot back, "If you didn't badmouth me, why would he suddenly treat me like this?" I was speechless. The truth was simple. Alicia had posted provocative selfies sitting on the hood of his car. Because of that, the heartthrob now owed thousands in damages. Considering how tight money was for his family, of course he'd be furious. Eva sneered, arms crossed. That's exactly why I told you to be brave and go for the heartthrob. I saw through this poor loser from the beginning. All he knows is how to play sneaky tricks behind your back. Disgusting simp. I looked at her and asked calmly, "So, you're saying you were involved in her betrayal of me?" Eva snapped back, "Betrayal? My best friend was trapped in a dead-end relationship. Of course I had to help her out. Should I have just let her rot in a marriage with you? She'll thank me for it one day." Alicia rolled her eyes and added coldly, "You can have the phone back, but on one condition. You immediately apologize to the heartthrob and admit you lied about me." Eva jumped in, yelling, "Yeah! Even if you have to kneel, clear my best friend's name." I took the phone from the desk without saying a word and continued calmly, "Why should I apologize for something I didn't do? And we still haven't settled our accounts." I sat down at the desk and started calculating. Throughout our relationship, I had given Alicia countless gifts and cash transfers. I wanted it all back. Alicia sighed, her voice full of false sadness. "My friends are all here. We once loved each other. Do you really want to humiliate me like this?" I didn't respond. I just kept calculating. Suddenly, Eva snapped a picture of me with her phone. With a smug expression, she said mockingly, "Today I met the king of losers. I'm posting this right now. You'll be socially dead." I thought she was just bluffing, but when I opened my phone to check, I saw she'd actually posted it. The caption read, "OMG, girls, never date a broke guy. The poorer they are, the more pathetic and dramatic they get. My bestie got stuck with one. It's terrifying." I frowned. "This is a personal matter between us. Why do you keep bringing up being poor? You might as well tattoo gold digger across your forehead." Eva sneered. "Yeah, I like rich guys. Got a problem with that? If you were rich, you'd be the one mocking me, not the other way around. Look at you, pathetic." Well, she grew more heated, storming over to the window and pointing down. "Rich men drive $1,000,000 Lamborghinis. They have ambition and goals. You're here calculating bills like a broke accountant, making the girls who once loved you feel sick." At that moment, another roommate finally spoke up. "Alicia, why don't you just pay him back? This is your fault in the first place." The room went dead silent. Alicia turned to her, eyes narrowing. "What do you mean? Are you taking his side?" Eva sneered again. "Isn't it obvious? You found a guy with a Lamborghini and now she's jealous. That's why she's defending him. She's trying to make you look bad." The roommate's face turned red with anger. "Don't falsely accuse me." I recognized her, Lisa. She was a quiet, hard-working student from a modest background. I remembered once when Alicia asked me to buy desserts for everyone in the dorm to show off. Lisa had politely refused, saying she couldn't accept anything she didn't earn. Because of that, I had a deep impression of Lisa. Alicia sighed and said mockingly, "Lisa, I know you're poor. You rely on student loans and scholarships to study. I get it if you resent the rich, but you know what? Being a good person is more important than just getting good grades." Lisa's eyes widened in disbelief. "Are you saying I'm not a good person?" I was completely dumbfounded. Lisa was the very definition of a good person. Diligent, humble, responsible, and always polite. She worked hard and excelled in both her academics and her character. And Alicia? Alicia had just been caught making out with a rich guy in a car right in front of me, her own boyfriend, and she had the nerve to judge Lisa's morals? What kind of upside-down world were we living in? Eva jumped in with her usual venom, sneering, "I know your type, poor simp girl. Now that you know he broke up, you're pretending to be some kind of self-righteous saint just to win his attention. But you know you'll never land a guy with a Lamborghini, so you won't even let the flyer boy making $3,000 a month slip away." Lisa clenched her fists, shaking with anger. "I work part-time too, as a tutor. I earn $2,000 a month." Eva scoffed with a cruel grin. "To you, even mosquito legs count as meat. I saw you yesterday, picking up food that fell on the table and eating it. Pathetic! You're so poor, of course you're not picky about men. Lisa's eyes turned red. Her voice trembled with both shame and anger. The food fell on the table, not the floor. What's so shameful about not wasting food? Enough! Alicia suddenly shouted, slamming her phone down on the table. She turned to me, glaring. You really embarrass me. My biggest regret is ever dating you. Just hurry up and finish settling our accounts. I need to go explain to my real boyfriend. Ava quickly chimed in, oozing fake support. Don't worry, sis. I'll go with you. We'll explain everything. These rumors will blow over and you'll still be his precious little darling. I was done with their nonsense. I turned my attention back to the notebook in front of me and focused on finishing the calculations. Of course, I didn't include the repair costs of the sports car. I wasn't stupid. If Alicia found out that massive bill was her responsibility, she might shamelessly try to get back with me. Finally, the numbers were in. Over the year we'd dated, I had given Alicia gifts and transfers totaling $18,000. When I saw the final amount, I was stunned. Dating really burns through money. I lived on a few hundred a month for my own expenses, barely enough for food, transport, and school needs. Yet without even realizing it, I had spent $18,000 on her. Not just me, Alicia and Eva were both visibly shocked when they saw the number. They didn't believe it at first, but after double and triple checking, they had no choice but to accept that it was correct. Alicia looked troubled, her voice dropping. 18,000? I don't have that kind of money right now. Eva started to panic. She leaned in and whispered urgently, Don't be scared, sis. I'll help you pay it back. How you handle this will decide how the heartthrob sees you. Even if we have to borrow from loan sharks, we'll get the money. You need to cut ties with this poor guy if you want a shot at marrying into wealth. Eventually, Alicia nodded. Eva's words had convinced her. Okay, we'll find a way to borrow it. My parents can't know. If they find out, they'll kill me. I didn't know what to say. If just 18,000 would get her killed, what would happen when that nearly 100,000 repair bill for the sports car showed up at her doorstep? Her parents might actually try to grind her bones into dust. Without wasting time, Alicia and Eva got to work calling and messaging people to borrow money. Surprisingly, they managed it easily. Classmates sent her a few hundred here and there. No one asked many questions, just gave. Even Alicia was surprised at how quickly the money added up. Alicia couldn't help but say, I have a good reputation. Everyone is willing to lend me money. Eva burst out laughing. That's because of your selfies on social media. You're sitting in a sports car worth millions. Of course, people are going to lend you a small amount. They think you're close to someone rich. Alicia paused, suddenly realizing the truth in her words. She glanced at me and said smugly, Do you see that? That's the real charm of a successful man. Just being associated with him makes everyone admire me and offer help, hoping to get closer to him. If I were still with you, do you think anyone would help me when I'm in trouble? Eva scoffed. Trouble? Being with him was already the biggest disaster of your life. They continued calling people, pulling every string they could. In the end, they managed to collect just over 8,000. But there was still a 10,000 gap. Eva clenched her jaw. I know a guy from the underworld. He can lend us the money. But if we can't pay it back, it'll be terrible. Alicia looked at her, clearly worried. What happens if we can't pay it back? Eva brushed it off. Don't worry about that for now. Your new boyfriend is loaded. 10,000 is nothing to him. She quickly got in touch with the so-called underworld guy. He seemed like a professional loan shark, and surprisingly, he handed over the 10,000 without hesitation. After collecting the full amount, they returned it to me. Alicia threw her phone at me in anger. Happy now? She snapped. Get lost. From now on, we should have nothing to do with each other. I nodded silently and turned to Lisa. Can you come out with me for a moment? Lisa looked surprised, clearly not understanding why I was calling her. Eva jumped in with a sneer. I knew these two had something going on. As soon as we paid him back, they ran off together. I sighed, feeling nothing but helplessness. The The truth was, the only reason I wanted to talk to Lisa was because she worked in the student council and had access to the contact directory. Since I planned to send a court summons to Alicia's family, I needed her home address. Lisa blushed deeply, lowered her head, and quietly followed me out. Ava yelled after us, still mocking. "You're really following him out? You only deserve Alicia's leftovers." Lisa was visibly shaken, almost in tears. "I don't have any such intentions," she said, her voice trembling. Eva spat venomously. "Pretentious coquette, keep pretending. No wonder your family is so poor. It's in your blood. Look at you trying to please even a guy who hands out flyers. You're so undiscriminating. It's obvious what kind of people your parents must be," Alicia added with a look of disdain. "Good thing I broke up with him. That useless man is all yours now. Let me give you a word of advice. A whore and a dog. May they last forever." I said nothing and led Lisa out of the dormitory and into the hallway. She whispered softly, "I only spoke up because I was angry. Don't read too much into it. I just want to study hard. I don't have the intentions they said I do." I nodded. "I know. You need scholarships and you work as a tutor. You don't have time for romance." Lisa looked at me, puzzled. "Then why did you ask me to come out?" I replied, "I know you have the contact directory. Can you give me Alicia's home address?" Lisa's eyes widened with panic. "What are you planning to do? Don't do anything reckless." She seemed really worried. In her anxiety, she even grabbed my hand. Looking into my eyes, she said with quiet urgency, "We may be poor, but we have dignity. Others may be in the wrong, but don't ruin your future because of their mistakes." The hallway fell silent. I didn't know what to say. Did this girl really think I was planning to take Alicia's whole family down with me? Lisa seemed to realize she was still holding my hand in her rush. Embarrassed, she quickly let go, her face flushing red. "You're hardworking and determined," she said quietly. "You deserve a better life. I believe that in 10 years, Alicia will regret the choices she made." I gave a small smile and replied, "It won't take 10 years. The dealership already assessed the damage. If her family lives in the city, she'll be regretting it very soon." Lisa looked stunned. "What do you mean?" she asked. I said calmly, "The sports car downstairs, that's mine." She stared at me, completely dumbfounded. I explained everything to her. She was so shocked she didn't speak for a while. It wasn't until I pulled out the car registration and showed it to her that she finally believed me. Still in disbelief, Lisa left to get the contact directory. She walked like she was in a dream, probably still trying to make sense of everything. Soon, she sent me Alicia's home address. Strangely enough, it was just a few kilometers from the dealership. What a coincidence, right? I called the dealership, and they told me the damage assessment would be delivered within 10 minutes. Then it hit me. Alicia had returned her phone. To me. How was I going to contact her later for the debt? I figured I'd temporarily give the phone back. I went back to Alicia's dorm. She frowned the moment she saw me. "Why are you back?" I replied, "I know you don't have a phone right now. You can borrow this one for a couple of days." Eva immediately clutched her chest and made a dramatic gagging sound. "I'm going to puke. I knew it. This simp is just trying to play that on-again, off-again love game with you." Alicia snapped, "Do you really take me for a fool? Can you stop pestering me? You're embarrassing me in front of my friends." Just then, Eva's phone rang. She looked at the screen and blinked in confusion. "Alicia, why are your parents calling me?" I was startled. The dealership really worked fast. Looks like Alicia's parents couldn't reach her, so they called Eva instead. Alicia quickly grabbed the phone. "Mom, what's wrong?" She didn't put the call on speaker, but her mother's voice was loud enough for the whole room to hear. "Don't call me Mom. Do you even know how much your father and I make?" "You've ruined us!" The sudden outburst hit Alicia like a slap. She froze, then stammered, "Mom, what did I do?" She walked to the corner of the dorm room, talking quietly at first. Then, without warning, she burst into tears. Ava rushed to her side. Sis, what happened? Between sobs, Alicia cried, I finally know why that heartthrob got mad at me. I dented his car just by sitting on it, and now he wants my family to pay. Her voice cracked as she said, the number. The estimated cost is $137,000. Where is my family going to get that kind of money? Ava stood there stunned. Wait, what? Just from sitting on it? Alicia nodded miserably. The bill was already delivered to my house. My mom said, she took a picture and sent it to me. She told me to check my phone. Alicia's legs gave out and she collapsed onto her bed, completely dazed. Eva bit her lip. Don't panic. I might have a solution. Alicia turned to her, desperate. What can you do? Eva hesitated, then said, at this point we need to see if you're pregnant. If you are and it's his child, would he really dare to ask you for that kind of money? Alicia's eyes lit up as if grasping onto hope. You're right. Even if he doesn't care about me, he has to care about the baby, right? Ava nodded quickly. Exactly. If he dares to pressure you for payment, just go to his house and make a scene. Alicia let out a deep sigh. I was planning to use the baby to marry into a wealthy family anyway. Who would have thought it would only end up covering the repair costs? Ava tried to comfort Alicia. Hundreds of thousands isn't a small amount. Your parents would need at least 2 years to earn that. But who says you can't still marry into a wealthy family? Maybe his parents will push for you to marry him. Not only would they cover the repair costs, but they might even gift you a car. I debated whether to remind Alicia, out of some leftover kindness, that even if she got pregnant with the heartthrob's child, it wouldn't necessarily exempt her from the repair fees. I started, But before I could get the words out, Alicia shot me a venomous look, walked over, snatched the phone from me, and hissed, Don't say a word, get lost. I don't want to hear your voice, I'm already in a bad mood. Ava quickly added, annoyed, Yeah, can you just get lost? We're trying to figure out how to calm. The heartthrob down. Feeling awkward, I suggested, How about you read the documents first? Eva snapped back, Get lost, loser. We have nothing to talk to you about. If you keep pestering Alicia, we'll accuse you of harassment and see you in court. I just nodded. Fine. Since they said that, we'd be seeing each other in court anyway. Alicia grabbed her phone and sent a voice message to the heartthrob. Please come downstairs to my dorm. I want to talk to you. Please. The heartthrob quickly replied. Alicia played the message out loud. I heard him say, Sure, you slut. I want to talk to you too. Come down now. Alicia put down her phone, worried. With that attitude, do you think he'll really forgive me? Eva said, Go down and beg him. I'll come with you. Helping Alicia up, Eva glared at me. Get out of the way. I ignored her and started to leave the dorm. Just then, Lisa returned. Alicia and Eva walked past Lisa and headed ahead of us. Seeing me, Lisa quietly asked, Will you make Alicia pay a lot of money? I said, I won't extort her. She should pay what she owes, but I'm thinking... Lisa asked, Thinking what? I said, It seems like they're begging the wrong person. Won't that be awkward? When we got downstairs, the heartthrob was already there. The most noticeable thing was the slap mark on his face. He stood by the roadside, crying and wiping his tears. If I wasn't mistaken, he must have told his dad what happened and received some fatherly love. Alicia and Eva were dumbfounded by the sight. Eva said, Seriously? With all the money his family has, he needs to cry like this? Alicia said, Maybe he really loves that car. When I went on dates with him, he was always super careful about it. Eva sighed. They say a car is a man's second wife. Must be true. I rolled my eyes. I don't treat my car like a wife. And honestly, why wouldn't he protect it? It's my car. Alicia quickly approached him, looking pitiful. Baby, let me explain. The heartthrob snapped. Explain to your grandfather, you bitch. He couldn't hold back his frustration any longer. He rushed forward, grabbed Alicia's hair, and slapped her hard across the face. Neither Alicia nor Eva expected him to hit her. Eva hurried over, trying to break it up, while Alicia, feeling wronged, said, "Baby, hit me if you're upset. It's my fault. I'll never do it again. Can I make it up to you for the rest of my life?" "I don't need your compensation." The heartthrob was so angry that he started punching Alicia in the face. As he kept hitting her, both Alicia and Eva realized something was seriously wrong. The students watching were all shocked. Just moments ago, Alicia had stepped out of a sports car admired by everyone. Now, in front of all these people, she was being beaten by the heartthrob, who had her by the hair, punching her face repeatedly. Eva shouted anxiously, "You're hitting her too hard! She's a girl!" The heartthrob's blows were so hard that he knocked out one of Alicia's front teeth. Alicia, now missing a tooth, covered her mouth in disbelief and spat out some blood. She quickly bent down to pick up the tooth, crying out, "Stop hitting me! My tooth is knocked out! Eva, go get some milk!" I nodded and said, "Smart. If you put a knocked-out tooth in milk quickly, there's a chance it can be reattached." Lisa turned to me, incredulous. "Are you taking pleasure in this?" I said, "How could I? We were in love once. Seeing her like this makes me sad, too." Lisa asked, "Then why are you smiling?" I said, "I'm just naturally cheerful. People who smile often tend to have good luck." During this beating, Alicia finally remembered me. Covering her mouth, she cried out, "You're really not a man. Look at how badly I've been beaten, and you still won't help me." I replied seriously, "You just told me not to harass you or we'd meet in court." The heartthrob, who seemed overwhelmed earlier, finally noticed me when I spoke. He let go of Alicia and walked toward me. Ava quickly said, "Heartthrob, I know you're upset, but do you know how much Alicia has suffered for you? Just now, this loser was bullying her. If she didn't love you so much, would she have put up with this?" The heartthrob angrily shouted, "Shut up! Your whole family are losers!" Eva didn't dare say another word. It was strange. She had been so aggressive in front of me, but now, facing her rich idol, she was unusually obedient. The heartthrob stood in front of me. I wondered how he would apologize, but then he did something unexpected. In front of everyone, he suddenly knelt down. With tears in his eyes, he cried, "Bro, I'm sorry, please forgive me." At that moment, the world seemed to fall silent. Everyone stared at me in shock. The students were dumbfounded. Eva trembled with disbelief. Lisa said nothing, keeping her head down. Alicia, covering her mouth where a tooth was missing, suddenly had blood streaming from her nose. She tried to sniff it back, but ended up choking on it and coughing painfully. No one expected things to turn out this way. Honestly, even I hadn't expected it. I sighed and said, "If you'd known this would happen, why did you do it in the first place?" Eva asked in a daze, "Why are you apologizing to him?" I said softly, "Yes, tell everyone why you're apologizing to me." The heartthrob, still crying, said, "I shouldn't have stolen your car to show off. I shouldn't have stolen your girlfriend. I'm despicable and disgusting. Please forgive me. I told my dad, but he said our family is already struggling with rent and can't pay for the damages." I nodded and said, "Your dad works really hard. That's why I sent my car to your family's repair shop. Who would have thought that such a diligent mechanic would raise a son like you?" The heartthrob broke down. "I'll never do it again. If you can give us more time to pay, I'll do anything you ask." Alicia was stunned. She muttered, "What repair shop? What car maintenance? What's stealing a car?" I said, "The facts are right in front of you." Alicia pointed at the sports car, her voice trembling. "That car is yours?" I nodded. "Yes, it's my car." Her expression froze, then her lips quivered as she burst into tears. "How can you be the rich one? Weren't you the flyer guy?" "I do hand out flyers, but those are all for my shops." Ignoring her bleeding nose and missing tooth, Alicia hurried to my side, limping. She grabbed my arm, crying, "Baby, let me explain." I said coldly, "I'm not your baby. We're already broken up." I reached out and placed my hand on the heartthrob's shoulder. He swallowed hard, looking at me with pleading eyes. I said, "This is your fault, not your dad's. In fact, I should thank you because you showed me my girlfriend's true colors. You helped me, so I'll help you this once. I thought for a moment and continued. You'll graduate next year. You can negotiate the compensation amount, and once you start earning, I'll let you pay it back over 3 years. The heartthrob looked surprised and asked, Really? I nodded and said, Yes. It's your mistake, not your father's, to pay for. But knocking out her front tooth is going to cost you a lot. He said viciously, I'm not paying a cent. At worst, I'll go to jail and get a record. Anyway, I won't pass any civil service exams. I asked, Are you really willing to go to jail rather than pay her a cent? He replied, Yes, this bitch doesn't deserve my compensation. I patted his shoulder hard and laughed. See, now you're being sensible. I'll waive 1,000 as a reward. Alicia was dumbfounded. She whimpered, Baby, I was really wrong. Can you give me another chance? It's all. She turned quickly and pointed at Eva, cursing. It's all because of this bitch. Eva didn't respond, her face blank. Alicia cried, You told me to do this. I loved my boyfriend so much. Why did I fall for your tricks? I was tired of watching her drama. I said, Remember to take the morning after pill. Don't actually get pregnant. It's not because I care about you, but because I know with your personality, you'd definitely have an abortion if you got pregnant. I don't want an innocent life to be killed before it even sees the world because of your bad character. At that moment, Alicia's face turned ashen. Eva suddenly started crying. She said, Aren't you going to repay the money I just helped you borrow? Alicia completely turned on her. You caused all this misery. Why should I pay you back? Eva broke down in tears. I have to repay that money or I'll be beaten to death. I casually said, If you're afraid of owing money to a loan shark, then just pay it back. Eva cried again. Where am I supposed to get 10,000? Lisa clenched her fists in anger and said furiously, You mocked me for eating food off the table, but your own family doesn't even have 10,000. You're poor too, so why do you bully other poor people? You deserve this. Eva sat on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. I smiled at Alicia and said, Goodbye. Unless it's about repaying money, don't contact me. Otherwise, I'll charge you with harassment. I turned to Lisa and asked, Since the bitch has been punished, how about we go have a meal to celebrate? You can ride in my car. Lisa replied, Are you drunk in broad daylight? Why would I get in your car or have a meal with you? Realizing she had a point, I awkwardly scratched my nose. I got into my sports car and drove off. Alicia and the heartthrob's family quickly reached an agreement, with both families paying half. It said that Alicia was beaten half to death by her parents at home, even having her leg broken. It really was broken. She had to wear a cast. The worst part was that her leg didn't heal properly. She walked with a limp and might have to break it again to heal correctly. Feeling too ashamed, she didn't return for the last year of college.